What's up? We're coming at you. 2016 Grappler Fall Classic is going down this Saturday. Battle Creek, 7th annual Grappler Fall Classic. Hard to believe it, Steve. This is the 7th year that this thing's been going on. This year we got a lot of changes, so things are going to be a little bit different this year. First of all, it's 2 weeks earlier than it has been in the past. Also, we have the new high school division, the varsity division, which I'm really excited about it because it's an opportunity now where instead of having a 50-man bracket in the high school, we have a 30-man bracket.
Right.
And now instead of seeing, usually we have to wait till like noon and we see those big name guys start going at it. Now they're going to be going at it like round one. There's going to be good matchups.
Everybody wins. The kids in the varsity division get more opportunity to advance, compete for a title. Other kids have a way shorter day, so win-win for everyone.
Absolutely. So it's going to be awesome. As always, everything is going down live on every mat. TrackCast is going to have a production going every single mat. Live, you can watch it on trackwrestling.com. Also, really excited that the finals this year, they're going to have a featured production. Track Wrestling owner Justin Tritt's actually coming to Battle Creek.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
He's bringing a crew with him. They're going to have multiple camera angles. We're going to have live commentating, post-match interviews, the whole shebang. Doing it up big. So if you make it to the GFC Elite Finals, you're going to get some major exposure. It's going to be awesome. So what we're doing, I'm Tony Greathouse, the tournament director, founder of Michigan Grappler, and with me is Steve Wodzinski. He's the ranking master who does all the rankings, so all your hate mail goes to him. And as usual, we've been doing this for a few years. We're going to run through each weight class. We're going to give
our 6th video?
I think so. Yeah, we've been busting these videos out. So we're going to go through, we're going to give kind of a recap of each weight, kind of an overview, and then we're going to make our picks. The first 5 weights, 98 through 125, are going to be in this video. We're going to release 3 videos just like it. And just so you guys know, we are not going to give you every single name of every good kid because that would take forever. The full seeds are listed on MichiganGrappler.com, so you can go check them out. See every single kid, plus the full entry list is on there as well. But we're going to kind of give a highlight of some guys who stand out, and we're going to give you our picks. So let's, without further ado, let's get started with the 98-pound weight class. The smallest weight, honestly, it's one of my favorite weights because it's unique a little bit. Like a lot of tournaments, 106 is the smallest weight. So with 98, we get to see some of those smaller guys. We also get to see some middle schoolers sometimes. Last year we had Carson Manville, a stud 7th grader.
All the way back, guys like Foster Carmen, Kanan Storr, Max Johnson, a few years later, Austin Franco. So it's been really cool to see a lot of guys kind of a year before they're really a big name in high school compete at that 98-pound class.
Mikey Mars won the 98 2 years ago as a freshman. So we always kind of see the future a little bit, what's to come with this 98-pound weight class. And this year's no different. Starting out with the number 1 seed, we got Andrew Chamble out of Michigan. Kid's a stud. He had a great Fargo, placed high in both styles, almost made the finals. He got some international experience, the Fila Junior or UWW Junior Grecos.
Cadet folk style national title this spring. He's just been all over the place.
Kid's a stud. Who else, Steve, do we have at 98 that you're excited to see here?
Well, the 2 guys that pop right away are the 2 returning high schoolers. Most of the guys at this weight incoming freshmen. The 2 guys who are coming back are Robbie Altland, coming out of Hart, Michigan. He was a Division IV state placer last year. Our number 2 seed, our number 3 seed, Mo Ahmed, out of Dearborn, Michigan. He is a Division I regional qualifier. Pinned some pretty tough guys last year. Dangerous kid to have in the bracket. Then he moved your way down just a plethora of kids who are really accomplished at the my way level. Kids like Terrence Daughtery, Wyatt Null, Bradley Beddick, Sam Freeman, Hunter Osselmacher. If you follow youth wrestling in Michigan, those names have been just like peppered into every big tournament in the past 5 years.
And you look at like the past GFC middle school division. I mean, Osselmacher, Null, Beddick, Freeman. I mean, those guys have been kind of the who's who. So it's exciting now. They're getting their chance to step it up and wrestle in the elite division. And this is a weight class that, I mean, obviously Chamble's number 1 seed. And Altland's probably the clear number 2 seed because he's the only returning state placer. But really, I mean, it's hard to tell because so much can change from 8th grade to 9th grade.
Oh yeah, I mean, even from June to October with kids that age, the way they progress it's always really interesting to see.
So it's gonna be exciting to see guys like if the seeds hold, for example, we would see Sam Freeman and Robbie Altland in the quarters. That's an incoming freshman. You don't really know what to expect right now for him at the high school level. And we're going to get to see him wrestle a returning state placer. So potentially some big matchups. But also out-of-state guys. Trey Sturgill from Indiana, tough incoming freshman. Thomas Deck from Kentucky, tough incoming freshman out of Kentucky, who was a GFC runner-up last year in the middle school division. And then Connor Williams out of Florida, also a tough incoming freshman who placed here last year in the middle school division. So ton of good incoming freshmen, a couple other upperclassmen. Should be a lot of fun. Let's get our pick. Steve, who you got, 98?
Like a lot of guys in this bracket, like Chamble the most, going with him.
Yeah, I would like to disagree with you, but I'm going to say that if there was a weight that we think is clear, that's not going to be clear, it could be 98, because
Right.
like I said, you just never know sometimes with some of these guys. Like, Wyatt Knoll might just show up and put on a show.
Right.
You never really know. And that's the beauty of 98. But without having any inside trader information, I got to go with the sure pick, which has got to be Chamble. And the only reason for me is just because he's proven himself in Fargo, big tournaments.
Right.
So being in a big tournament like this, level of competition shouldn't be anything that's too much out of his realm.
For sure.
Andrew Chamble, you're a pick. Don't let us down. 105. Here we go. 105. We got. It's actually a little bit thinner than in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not as many returning state placers as we normally have. But the number one seed, returning Division I state placer Kyle Borthwell. He's going to probably be a big 105 pounder.
Huge.
I'm interested to see what he looks like down at 105 because he was a decent sized 103 pounder last year,
Right.
but had a great state tournament last year, took fourth in Division I in a really tough weight class. He's super athletic. He wrestles well from every position. He's really tough. He's got to be the favorite. Then we got Brendan Spencer, who was fourth in the state last year in Division III.
Went all the way from Roscommon.
From Roscommon, from the Great White North. He's a little spark plug. He's really fiery. He goes really hard. I'm really excited to see him and Borthwell if they both make the finals. But there's a bunch of other guys on there, and Steve, kind of give us a rundown of who we got.
Yeah, for sure. Jacob Osmolinski, Sparta, name that pops right away. Kid that was right on the verge of placing Division II last year. I think he's done quite a bit of summer wrestling. Guy like Nick Lyon from Macomb, Dakota, had a really tough region last year. Didn't make it to the state tournament, but he's a guy who could be like maybe a top 4 guy, top 3 guy in Division I this year at that weight if he stays at 103. Moving away down the list, Logan Bailey, a guy who placed at 98 as a middle schooler. Excited to see how he's progressed.
Younger brother of Braden Bailey, who's one of the top guys at 135 as well.
Andrew Hughes, who's a former multi-time My Way State champ, former Michigan Grappler Youth Wrestler of the Year, has had a lot of success, GFC
Super
middle
tough.
school division. Devin Johnson, the elder statesman, is one of the few juniors at this weight. He's kind of been buried in the CC lineup that is really deep, but he could be a state placer this year for them at that weight, so I think he's going to be one to watch too.
Another one, too, that really stands out, who we don't have in the seeds right now, but he's a really tough 8th grader, is Tyler Swiderski from Dundee. He's done a lot at the youth levels, and he kind of reminds me a little bit of when Austin Boone was at 105 a couple years ago. He surprised a lot of people, won the tournament, beat Louis Hayes in the final. So, look out for Swiderski, a tough 8th grader. And then when you go down, I mean, there's like a handful of guys that are all really solid at this weight, you know what I mean? So, actually, 105 is very resemblant to what 98's normally like.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of tough guys who were like undersized 103 pounders last year. You don't really know what they're going to look like this year. Should be a really fun weight. But who you got?
I am going with the Rocket of Westland John Glenn, Kyle Borthwell.
Polk trained, Coach Bill Polk.
Yeah, this is another one of those weights where I kind of like to go off the board and make a little bit of an upset pick, but I think that as good as some of these guys are, Borthwell really is a head and shoulders favorite, and he's the guy to beat.
So I really like Borthwell, and this pick is nothing against Borthwell, but I really like Brendan Spencer, and I just don't want to pick the same person that Steve picked. Brendan Spencer came to our camp this year at Brighton. He's like really hard worker, really tough guy. He goes really hard, 6 minutes, and I think if he can stay with it and keep the match close in the beginning, then he might be able to stay on Borthwell, who's going to be pulling a little bit of weight, I think, and maybe he can catch him. So I'm going to go with Brendan Spencer at 103. But another one, too, I really like is Andrew Hughes. He's tough.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen him wrestle in a couple
years.
He didn't wrestle at the My Way State tournament last year, but I know he's really tough.
Absolutely.
112. This is one of our featured weights in the tournament. So 112 has, just give me some numbers. 6 guys at 112 who were top 3 in the state last year, coming back. 3 guys who are nationally ranked right now coming into this tournament. You got 14 guys who were state qualifiers last year and 8 guys who were state placers. So the bracket, it's one of those things with the varsity division, instead of having we're not going to have like a 60-man bracket.
Right.
It's going to be probably like a 32-man bracket with a lot of rat tails or a lot of buys in the first round. But like the round of 16 on, there's really not
there's no filler.
There's not a bad match round of 16 on. I mean, you got 14 guys that are state qualifiers, so you essentially have a state championship match, like a state tournament match at every match, round of 16 on. So there's going to be a lot of good matches, but Obviously, the two Michigan guys that we got who are returning Fargo finalists. You got Rayvon Foley, who's also the returning champ in this weight, who is a stud. He's a senior, Ann Arbor, Michigan. He's returning junior finalist last year at 106 at Fargo. He took second. And then you got Corey Gammett.
Two-time Fargo finalist.
Yeah, Rayvon is a two-time, you're right. And then Corey Gammett, who kind of shocked the world and won Fargo last year, Cadet 106, kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, he had a knee injury for a lot of last high school season, wrestled like 13 matches all year, so he kind of was off the radar. And I'm really excited to see him that he was at full strength. He saw what he could do at Fargo, so very excited to have a healthy Corey Gammett at this tournament.
In addition to Foley and Gammett, just from a Michigan standpoint, you got Chase Mayer, who was a state runner-up last year in D2.
Stud.
Chase Mayer is tough. He is really tough. He lost in the state finals to Gammett, which I think was kind of a close match, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so he's right in the mix. You throw in Gallagher, who's a D3 state champ.
Dark horse.
You got, so the Michigan kids are tough, but then out of state, I know you're really big on Jordan Crace.
Yeah, I've watched him wrestle at tournaments since he was like in 6th grade. Never been unimpressed by him. Every time I watch him, I pick up something new that it just impresses me. So he's going to probably be my pick to win the whole thing. He is out of Ohio. He's a stud. 3rd in the state last year. And then moving down the list, this is a really well represented weight for Ohio. We got Jacob Edwards, Division III state runner-up in Ohio. Brandon Lucas, a former state placer from Ohio, has had a lot of success nationally. And looking at some of the Indiana guys, we got guys like Lucas Wallenczak and Hunter Whitman, state qualifiers in Indiana. That's only one division. Kind of goofy the way the state tournament is. It can be one and done. So
the general rule of thumb usually with Indiana is if you're a state qualifier in Indiana, you're probably placing in Michigan.
Right.
So if you got a guy who's a state qualifier from Indiana, he's pretty tough. The thing I really like about having Jordan Crace is he's a St. Paris Graham guy.
Yeah.
And we got like a handful of St.
Really
Paris
good
Graham
group,
guys, which is
excited
awesome.
about that.
As anyone who follows wrestling knows, Graham is one of the top programs in the country. Coach Jordan down there has got him pumping, and I'm really excited to see Jordan Crace, Corey Gammett.
Yeah, and one other Ohio guy that I think is worth mentioning is Blake Saito. He's our 13 seed, incoming freshman. Not like a ton to look at if you search him on track wrestling, but 3rd at this tournament last year in the high school division as an 8th grader. I think he's going to have a big day Saturday.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that talks to people in Ohio. He's one of those guys that's like a really big incoming freshman in Ohio. They're expecting a lot of. So we got him right now as like the 13 seed, which, disclaimer, the seeds will probably change a lot. People drop, change weights, whatever. So, it's hard to look and say like, oh, this is who he's going to wrestle. Right. But wherever he is, he's going to be a lower seed.
He's going to
be a bracket buster for sure. So, Steve, who you got?
I alluded to it earlier. Huge Jordan Crace fan. That's my guy at 112.
So I really like Jordan Crace. I really like Corey Gammett. I think that if the seeds hold, that semifinal match is going to be one of the best semifinal matches in that whole tournament. I mean, it's going to be awesome. But I can't bet against my man Rayvon Foley. He put on a show last year. He beat Hassan Johnson in an amazing finals match. He lost to Kamali in the state finals last year, which was probably a huge bummer for him. But he's one of those guys who shows up most of the time when the lights are on. He shines brightest, and he's a returning champ. And I think he's going to
fall tournament. Some guys' conditioning might not be all the way up. That dude is going to be sprinting every second he's on the mat, guaranteed. Not going to get tired.
Rayvon Foley, my pick. All right, 119. Moving on. Another tough weight. So 112 is like one of those weights that like the top 10 is probably top 5. It's probably better than any weight in this tournament.
Right.
119 is a weight that is super deep.
We could make a separate video by the guys who aren't seated at 119.
Yeah, I mean it's insane, and it starts right out at the top with Mikey Mars, who's a 2-time D1 state champ. As we said earlier,
former GFC champ.
He won this thing at 98 2 years ago, and he's one of those guys who, as he's gotten bigger, the success hasn't changed. He's been just as dominant at 112 last year as he was at 103 as a freshman. The dude's a stud. You got Ben Kamali, who's the 3 seed, who's a returning state champ in Michigan, who had a great summer, placed in Fargo, both styles. Kid's a stud. You got Jack Medley.
Really high on Jack Medley.
He's like right there.
Almost placed at Flow this year.
Yeah.
He's probably not as...
Didn't he have a close match with Mars last year in the state tournament?
Yeah, he did. He's not... Some of these guys are probably a little more aesthetically pleasing to watch wrestle. Jack Medley, he's always big for his weight. He's always makes good decisions, stays in good position. He's a threat to beat anyone there.
I feel like he's one of those kids who's always got like scars on his face. He's like headbutting people.
Yeah, he's a banger.
He's a goer. The out-of-state guys that I'm really excited about in this weight, though, Hassan Johnson, the number 2 seed. We said it earlier, he lost to Foley last year in the finals.
Had a great run to make the finals. Because he was like the 8th seed or something last year.
He knocked off, I want to say he beat Gannett last year to make the finals.
Yeah, he for sure beat Ben Kamali last year. I want to say he beat Gannett as well.
I know he beat Gannett a couple weeks ago at the Indiana Mat preseason tournament. He had a great summer at Grand River Rumble. He won the Grand River Rumble. He was 3rd in the state in Illinois last year. Kid is a stud. Christian Mejia, state runner-up in Indiana, which we talked about. Indiana, 1 division. So if you're a state runner-up, I mean, that's like you're the 2nd best kid in the whole state, all divisions. So state runner-up, Christian Mejia. Then you got DeMonte Perry, who was here last year. He's really good. State runner-up at 3A in Florida, their big division. Stephen Moreno, who was 4th in the Moreno, who out of St. Thomas, Florida, who was 4th in the state 3A. Their big division. So you look at all these out-of-state guys. I mean, then you got Logan Heil.
Yeah, Logan Heil beat Mike Mars at this tournament last year, who's our 1 seed, 2-time state champ. So it's crazy deep at this tournament. He's our 10 seed right now.
Logan Heil's a stud. Chad Kraft, who's a state placer, 6th in the state last year.
Yeah, I mean,
Troy Christian.
Carson Manville last year, 98-pounder, wins the whole tournament. This year, he's all the way up at 119. We're not quite sure what to do with him. He's still an 8th grader, but I mean, he could, make the finals foreseeably. Like, he's crazy good. I'd even see it.
Give a quick rundown of these Michigan guys, too. I mean, there's so many guys. I mean, it's hard to mention them all, but...
Ensign Proudlock is a name that I know we made first round, but he's really good. Came pretty close to winning a state championship last year. Beat some really good guys who make the finals. Yep. Noah Komar, Division 4 state runner-up, really good. His only loss last year in Division 4, I think, was to Jordan Hamden, who's probably going to be a 4-timer. He's a freak. I mean, looking down the Monte Simons, you got a Division 1 state placer. Isaac Leffler, Jack Samuel, all D1 state placers. Emilio Sanchez, 3-time Division 2 state qualifier.
The kids who are unseeded that really stand out for me, there's 2 of them. One is Manville, who you mentioned. He's probably like the biggest guy to see what happened. I mean, because we know he's a stud. He's a middle schooler who's been just crushing everything in the middle school. He's still only in 8th grade. He's younger brother of Mason Manville, who everybody knows, on Brown Academy. And it's hard though because he's 119 now. So it's
there's not a lot there.
How's that weight difference going to change now, being only an 8th grader wrestling 119? But he's one of those guys that he could be a total bracket buster. I mean, if he's he's training at a high level. He goes hard. The kid's a stud. The other one too is Sean McKenna out of Illinois. He placed in Fargo 2 years ago. He's a freestyle All-American, cadet freestyle All-American 2 years ago from Illinois. And he right now is unseeded in this tournament.
One other Illinois guy unseeded is Kyle Clough, former 3A state qualifier. He wrestles out a ton of stuff every summer. He's a senior. That could for sure be a guy who's going to mess up this bracket too.
This is going to be a weight to watch. This is definitely one of the weights to watch. And kind of like we said with 112, I mean, from the round of 16 on, there's not a match that's not worth tuning in to watch. I mean, we got 15 state placers in this bracket, 22 state qualifiers, 6 guys who were either 1st or 2nd in the state last year.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
All that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make my pick first, and I'm going to upset all my Michigan people with this pick, but I'm going with Hassan Johnson. He was 2nd last year, and this year, he's going to climb the mountain. He's going to win this thing. Take it all.
I am going with Mike Mars, went with Borthwell at 105, and go with his teammate at 119. Had a kind of a rough GFC last year, won it 2 years ago. I think he's bouncing back, winning his 2nd GFC title on
That would be
Saturday.
2 John Glenn champs. That'd be pretty.
Yeah, I wonder how many schools have ever done that before.
Brighton did it last year.
That's right.
Just saying. All right, 125. Last weight of this video, then we're going to move on. 125 is probably the deepest tournament, or the deepest chart in the tournament. 15 returning state placers, 26 returning state qualifiers by my latest count. I guess I'll let you kind of start. Who are the names that really stick out among the top?
The names that most people watching this video are going to know are AJ Facundo, Dante Rivera Garcia, both multi-time state finalists for Michigan Division 1. Actually wrestled each other in the state finals 2 years ago. Facundo is a 2015 state champ. Rivera, 2-time runner-up. Got Robert Lefevre out of Erie Mason, Division 4 state champ. A lot of people know him. Kyle French, really good wrestler out of Marysville. Took 5th Division 2 last year. Hunter Corcoran, I think he's been in the top 4 a couple years in a row in Division 3. Dan Pupor was, he took 7th the past 2 years, but he's been a guy who could be a 2-time state champ right now with a few matches that are really tight, go different ways. So really Dan Pupor is really good. Stone Moskovic, a kid I like from Detroit Catholic Central, is really tough. And then even unseeded, there are 3 Michigan state placers, not even seeded in the top 16. Jacob Spice, Reese Wallace, Dylan Keatster. So that's for sure a testament to the depth we have. Yeah, a ton. I mean, you go down with all the state qualifiers. It's just it's crazy, the guys that are getting drawn in who are state qualifiers. Right.
But The out-of-state guys, you got Carlos Champagne from Illinois. He's a returning Illinois State runner-up. Had a great Disney duels last year. He didn't really have any like huge wins, but he had some really close matches with some guys that are really good.
Beat Brendan Ladd from Michigan, who's graduated now. Who's a really tough wrestler. A lot of you guys probably know.
So Champagne's really tough, and then you got Ty Mills out of Indiana, third in the state in Indiana. He was actually third last year and runner-up the year before. So he's been top 3 in one division in Indiana twice. He's a NHSA All-American. He's a Fargo All-American. Kid's a stud. He's the 4 seed right now. Eric Bartos, top 4 out of Ohio.
Yeah.
You got Robert Preeson, who I believe is the younger brother of Brandon Preeson.
Yeah, I think
who
so.
was a stud from Northwestern, who's actually trained out of Ann Arbor recently. You got Chase Kraft out of Troy Christian, Ohio. You got a couple Indiana State qualifiers and Reese Rodriguez, Adam Davis. You got Michael Cassidy, who's a 3A state qualifier in Pennsylvania. Luke Pradle, who's a 3A state qualifier in Illinois. I mean, so the out-of-state guys, Gianni Guerrero from Florida, 3A state qualifier. So you had a ton of good out-of-state guys sprinkled in with all these in-state guys. And this weight, honestly, I think this is one of the most open weight classes because it's like, I mean, so I think like Champagne, Facundo, and Dante Rivera Garcia are probably the top 3, like.
Right.
But
can you count out Lefevre? Can you count out Ty Mills?
I mean, even as you go down the list,
Robert
some of these
Preeson
guys,
could win this whole thing.
Danny I mean, it's like it's just a totally open weight. You got guys like, I mean, Isaiah Berry's not seeded. He beat Christian Mejia at the Grand Rumble. I mean, you got so many guys mixed in there who are really high quality guys throughout the bracket. So
the separation is not what it is at some of these weights.
it's going to be an amazing bracket to watch, and probably the hardest one to pick. So who are you going to pick?
I've gone all Michigan and Ohio so far. I'm going to add another state and go with the Illinois Carlos Champagne.
Junior.
All
right, that's a good pick. It is a tough weight to pick, and I feel like no matter who I pick, I'm going to be wrong.
Yep.
So I'm just going to go with the pick that's the easiest for me, and that's AJ Facundo. He's a freaking goer. He goes super hard. He's got great attacks on his feet. He's going to wrestle at a high pace, and I think he's the guy. He's got to be my guy to beat, so I'm going with Facundo. So there's our picks, Steve. That's 98 through 125, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to cut it off. The next video is going to be 130, 35, 40, 45, and 52, and then we'll come back after that with the big guys. Once again, October 1st, this Saturday, wrestling begins at 8 a.m. Everything is going to be streamed live on Track Wrestling. If you go to grapplerfallclassic.com, we have a link right to it. You can go watch the video streams. You can also come to Kellogg Arena and watch it live and in person. It's even better. The tournament's brought to you by Wrestling Addicts. Make sure you, if you got any upcoming needs this season, gear, stuff that you need to get, Wrestling Addicts does a great job. Actually, our champions this year are going to be getting full custom sublimated quarter zips.
Wow.
It's like
That's awesome.
it's a new thing that Wrestling Addicts does now. They're full customized sublimated quarter zips. So the image of that, if you follow Michigan Grappler on Twitter, we tweeted out a picture of what the mock-ups look like. They're sweet. So all the champions, actually in all divisions, middle school, elementary, and elite, are going to get that. Also, our finalists are going to have the sweet Wrestling Addicts 2-piece uniforms like they had last year. So Wrestling Addicts takes care of us. Make sure you guys support them. Go to WrestlingAddicts.com, and we'll see you guys on Saturday when everybody's there.